Resign! Resign, coward!
The Western culture and values that brought forth Christianity in the founding documents are being called evil and racist.
I'm reminded of the tyranny of communist China, where your money is legally stolen and then used in government schools, not public schools. These are not public schools, these are government schools, like here, to indoctrinate children against their parents.
My child is not oppressed, and don't assume that. As long as you Marxists push your unconstitutional agenda on my child, she will not be returning back to Loudoun County schools.
Yep, a heated scene. I don't need to tell you if you watch that playing out in Loudoun County, Virginia, where hundreds of parents push back against the school board over the district's transgender policy and other things. The district has also been the epicenter of the fight against critical race theory in the classroom. Look at this. Here to react to a panel of Loudoun County parents, conservative radio host Joe Mobley's here, along with Paul Chen and Rachel Pisani. Rachel, let's start with you. What was the goal going in? What ended up happening that cut everything off yesterday?
You know, the goal was really parents being able to speak and express their concern about CRT and the fact that our school board wants to indoctrinate our children. We do not want to co-parent with our government. We want to be able to instill beliefs and instill our faith in our children without hesitation.
Joe, do you think you're being heard? And the fact that they cut this off, does it make you feel as though they're trying to cut you off?
Absolutely, we're not heard. If anything, last night proved that this school board, and in particular Brenda Sheridan, have a real problem with the First Amendment, all the way from religious expression, freedom of conscience, to freedom of speech and expression. I think that's clear by last night. So is your goal to win over the Board of Education or to replace them? And I'll bring that to you, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. The goal has been started about 7 or 8 weeks ago, and we are trying to recall the school board. 6 members out of 8 or 9 members we're trying to recall, because if we don't, these radical policies will not change. So, yeah, well, are you worried about the fall? I mean, you're worried about what's going to happen in the fall, right? Because obviously this year is come and gone. And I'll put that to you, Rachel. Do you think that this message has gotten across where you actually will change the curriculum, or else the parent protest won't stop?
The parent protest won't stop. I mean, we are an army of moms and parents that will not stop until we're heard. So they can mute our mics, they can arrest us, they can kick us off of public property. We're not going to stop. They're passing laws saying in July 1st, after this, in the fall, they will fire any teacher that is not culturally in agreement with the school board and their tactics. This is insanity in America. This isn't freedom of speech. Right. It's not freedom of religion. It's racism, and it's cloaked in socialism.
So, Joe, I think it's important for people at home to understand, you're not saying don't teach Jim Crow, don't talk about the Civil War, don't talk about segregation. You're not talking about avoiding that, right, Joe? You're just talking about not indoctrinating and vilifying a race. Is that correct? Absolutely. Teach history in its full context, and you can even speak to the impact of historical accuracy, but don't teach indoctrination. Don't teach that some kids are bad because of immutable characteristics, namely their skin color. Paul, I've been pretty much in awe of what's happening at the grassroots level, and I've been seeing this happen. We've been covering as much as possible, really a lot in Loudoun County, but now around the country. And some people are saying this is funded. It is funded and pushed from Washington and the RNC to win an election in 2022. Paul Chen, are you funded?
No, we are absolutely not funded at all. This is a grassroots level. It erupted when we became aware of the CRT, and that was actually predicated on the awareness of the school closures. We really wanted the schools to open back up because it wasn't a proper learning environment for our kids. My daughter alone, I'm going to be spending $1,500 this summer just to make sure that she did learn her math the way it needed to be, because math is foundational. If you don't know it, you can't move to the next level. So these are things that started the movement, and now it's where it's at today, and we are not funded at all. And a couple of things. Rachel, where was the violence yesterday? Why did the cops get involved, number one? And number two, do you feel as though you would have even done this and known about this if there wasn't for the pandemic and your child learning at home?
Absolutely. I would never have known about this. The issue that happened yesterday is a woman stood up and called Jesus followers people that were dripping with hate. So because we were speaking truth, she called us people that were dripping with hate. The school board stopped the meeting and came back, gave her her time back, allowed the hate speech to occur again, and then they stopped the board meeting again. Then when Senator Black got up and spoke, they disagreed with what he said again, and they stopped the school board meeting and asked everyone to leave and said if we did not leave, we would be arrested. It's unbelievable that they can do this in a public setting. We had 250 people signed up to speak. They only allowed not even 50. And if we didn't agree with their policies, they cut us off.
Unbelievable. But I think they messed with the wrong parents because I don't think you're going to be stopped. Joe Mobley, Paul Chen, Rachel Pisani, thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.
All right.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.